If you're just joining us, you're still watching the press, reaching you live from the nation's capital, Abuja, and you've missed the first half, but we're about to go down to the second half, which is the analysis, and we'll be joined by our guest in the studio. He's no other than, of course, Comrade Dogo Shagari. He's the president of the Arewa Youth Council. It's good to meet you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Good morning.
It's a delight to have you in the studio.
Thank you. You're welcome.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Now, there's been quite interesting development so far, especially seeing the president when he attended the G20 summit. It's looking like the president is trying to use one stone to kill like 20, 30 birds, because aside from the deals he's been able to secure so far with the Indian government, we also have the visa ban that has been resolved in the UAE, and of course some discussions around peace negotiation of about 800 million foreign stock funds in Nigeria. So what do you make of all of this? And people are beginning to say we have a government that is responding to the people, and especially because you are the president of Arewa Youth Council, what do you make of this, knowing that initially when he was coming on board there were lots of conversations around the age thing and seeing that he may not be able to perform as expected? But in this case, we see a president walk into the United Arab Emirates in Abu Dhabi himself to, discuss the visa ban and other bilateral issues. I want to get your opinion on that.
Thank you, my sisters. It's a pleasure coming to KAFTAN TV to share my view for Nigeria. Two, President Olamide Tinubu, for a few days in office, or let me say 100 days in office, truly demonstrates true leadership. True leadership in a sense, it is surprising to Nigeria, and that is why we agitate to support him, because we know his capacity and what he can do if he's elected president. Now as a president, Mr. President have actually made Nigerian pride, Nigerian diaspora and Nigeria at home, that is truly having the capacity to turn things around. It is not easy. Even with our brother, our father, former President Muhammad Buhari, of his time, where Nigeria were facing challenges in Dubai, a lot of things going wrong. But the man who is a core Democrat took over the leadership and also went into negotiation, because it's one of the best, like I call him Mr. Negotiator, because he is an expert in negotiating for his country. So negotiating for the benefit of Nigerians have given Nigeria opportunity to lift the visa suspension. Moving to the areas of incapacitated, where he was campaigning, people say he's incapacitated. It's his nature. Even Bola Tinubu, when he was the governor of Lagos State, people didn't believe he would do wonder, but he remained the best governor in history as much as Lagos is concerned. And I'm believing also in mind that Tinubu will remain the best president we will have as a democratically elected president in Nigeria. And that is why he's doing everything possible. One thing deserves another. The team surrounded President Tinubu are quite knowledgeable compared to the team surrounded President Buhari. So it's one area that we, as a young person, and as somebody who's from the heart of Nigeria, the Federal Capital Territory, I believe that Nigerians will feel the more better impact of President Tinubu by joining hands to support him to succeed. So I'm giving him kudos, and I'm also challenging him that as much as he's going around to negotiate for Nigeria, he should also think about the Nigerians in Nigeria, because the tense economic hardship is really touching the mind of the people. Okay,
let me quickly come in now. You've called the whole process like a wonder. I hear you target a wonder, perhaps science and wonder maybe. But we remember the former president had tried so much to of course lift the UAE ban, but he didn't succeed. And now we have President Bola Ahmed Tinubu within still the 100 days in office have been able to do this. What do you think he has done? What do you think he did differently from of course the former president to have been able to achieve this milestone?
Thank you, Vicky. I must be very honest to you. Democracy is for Democrats. Democracy is not for military people. Former President Muhammad Buhari is a retired military general. The skill of negotiation of a military personnel and a Democrat are differ. President Bola Tinubu is a Democrat. So he has a tactics of negotiating and convincing idea that will move the country forward in giving them the right direction. That is why they are easily to understand his mode of negotiation. That is my thought.
All right, because there was a statement you made that I would love to quote. You said, whilst he's doing all of that, traveling around and negotiating and bringing in deals, he should remember the Nigerians in Nigeria, sure, because they're suffering. Yeah. But now the question is, for whom has he gone out for these negotiations? For Nigeria. Especially, wouldn't it be for Nigerians in Nigeria to make everything easier for them? Because when the economy becomes better, I believe it will trickle down to every aspect.
Of course. But you know, there is something that also triggers me to say that.
Exactly. So you
won't be laid to rest before you are being benefited or being a beneficiary of something that is negotiating. In any relationship, there must be a courtship. Marriage does just came into existence without courtship. Nigerians in Nigerians are in intense need of survival. Not all Nigerians will live to Dubai. Not all Nigerians will live to India and other country of the world. The poor Nigerians are the concern than the richer Nigerians. That is my own belief. Because I stand for the poor. The poor Nigerians are in dear need of him. So as he's returning back to Nigeria, the first thing he will think about is how the Nigerian people will be more beneficiary to one's palliative, he said, or allocated to the governor. Because I can call it allocated it to the governor, not to the masses. But as a president, I know he has a capacity. A president, I know that he has an idea. A president, I know he plans to become the president of Nigeria. He should think about the masses.
Okay. Sorry, apologies. But the question now is this not just, doesn't this need collaboration of everyone? Because if now the states have been given the palliative measures to cushion the palliative, the funds, and some states have actually started distributing, it simply means that from the governors, it should trickle down to the local government, and from local government, it begins to go down to the chairman, and then from persons to person. Because at the federal level, it definitely won't reach out to everyone. But the states, they're supposed to have state registers that's supposed to be used to, you know, make some of these things happen. So who's to be blamed here? Because obviously the federal pocket has done something, but Nigerians are still screaming we've not seen anything. So who should be held responsible?
Good. This is where I come in. My sister, let me also say something that in 2019, during COVID-19, a lot of things happened. A lot of things happened because governors loaded this palliative in their house. Even up to now, majority of governors still have them in their stocks. I'm concerned that if the palliative is for the poor Nigeria, get the statistic of the poor Nigeria and pay this money to them. What is the population of Nigeria? Let me say approximately 300, not even 200, approximately 300. If you are dashing at 1 million naira, that is 300 million. Am I lying? If you are dashing 1 million naira to each Nigeria, that is 300 million. But you are talking about giving somebody a palliative. Is a mat a palliative? Is bucket a palliative? Is silver plastic a palliative? Because I've seen a lot of pictures on the video. People claim distributing palliative. Is that palliative? No. I've seen some governors who have done wonder. I must commend them. What I saw before my arrival here, the governor of Brunei said unveiling 70 more. I think it's commendable. You understand me? The governor of Adamawa, you know, it's commendable. The Benue governor has also said he is concerned about the masses with education. That the palliative money cannot be used only to share and chop. He will take charge of the entire Nikon and wife. This means that you can caution infant because some parent doesn't have money to pay for their school fees. So how many governors have that concern? Is it why you say a half kg bag of rice? How many? Okay, we are 7 in the house. I'm talking to you. I have a family of 7. How do I take care of the family of 7? Is that with that half kg of rice? How many days will it take us? So I'm concerned that the Nigerian at home, the Nigerians in Nigeria, shall feel his impact more, as the Nigerians in diaspora are feeling the impact of Mr. President. I said we are estimating 300 million people. 1 million per head is 300 million. Hello? But individuals are loading billions in their house. How many Nigerian prominent men are concerned about the less privileged? None. So if the president is concerned about negotiating for the growth of Nigerian economy, he should also know that people should not die before the economy grow.
Okay, let me come in here. We've seen the tremendous step taken by, of course, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and many Nigerians are concerned that should we be afraid if what was traded to have the secession, of course, ban lifted from Nigerians? Should we be concerned?
Of course, Nigerians should be concerned. Nigerians should be concerned because, I said it from the beginning. I said because Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a Democrat, his terms of negotiations are different from those who are military and become civilian president. So Nigeria should be celebrated that they have a president as Ahmed Bola Tinubu. And they should be concerned that the lifted ban is a plus to Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration and for the benefit of Nigeria.
Well, you said it earlier that not all many Nigerians would have what it takes to travel.
Yes. So
would it just be a plus to, of course, Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration and not Nigerians as a whole?
I don't think it's going to be a plus to only Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It should be for entire Nigeria because it's the president of Nigeria as stand today.
Now, because we're still talking about how Nigerians are suffering in these times, because part of the reasons why we're suffering is because subsidy has been removed. And we all agree that we cannot continue to subsidize for consumption instead of production. Now, there's this headline on the Punch newspaper that says, Pengasan reacts as Dangote Refinery misses production deadline. The part of the stories we heard about Dangote Refinery launching in August, you know, was that Dangote Refinery was going to launch in August, and everybody was so happy. When subsidy ended, President Bola Tinubu announced that subsidy had been removed. Everybody we were like, okay, we're probably just going to suffer this hardship for like 2 months, and then we'll have Dangote Refinery pumping in fuel for us. But August has gone, September is midway gone, and we've still not heard. So what do you make of this?
Thank you. Let me be very honest to you. As a realist, I must commend first our leader, Alhaji Dangote, to even initiate that idea of building a indigenous refinery. But in business, it's not easy. Sometimes contractors even fake you with your hope of a briefing like to take off. So I'm of the opinion that that will still work. Even as August is off, that will still work. Because I heard where the president was reacting to former President Olusegun's statement that the the Nigerian refinery will not work. I want to insist that Bola Ahmed Tinubu traveled to India along Dangote. It's to put this in right perspective. So as they're arriving, things will turn around.
Let's quickly take this call to know what our audience think. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning, you're welcome to the press. Please tell us your name and where you're calling from. You need to turn down the volume of your TV set.
My name is Ibrahim Shuaibu from Mina, Niger State.
All right, you're welcome to the conversation.
Thank you. I was listening to the submission of that gentleman in the studio. He was saying that let's assume the population of Nigeria is 300 million, and that when 1 million is given to everybody, that will be 300 million. If I get him right, I think that's the wrong calculation. He's going by 1 naira per 300 people.
I think so too, yes.
Are you with me?
Absolutely.
All right. That's my contribution. I want to say he should recalculate it.
All right.
The mathematics is wrong.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for that observation.
You're welcome.
Okay. I guess while you are still calculating, there's a global report on corruption, biggest hindrance to Nigerians' democratic development. And we've seen President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on the G20 summit,
G20
yes, to India. And I'm sure one of the steps is to perhaps bring in investors to Nigeria. I will see many of these Indian companies or some investors, when they come in, they of course go into operations, and then Nigerians are the ones who perhaps are employed to work in those companies, and when they bring in their own people, they are called the indigents, and the Nigerians are meant to like go through some sort of hardship. Do you think steps on while going through negotiations, bringing in investors, there should be like perhaps a negotiation to making Nigerians who work for these investors to get better working environments, better pay, and the rest of it?
Yeah, once there is a conducive environment for investment to thrive, I believe right things will be done. You see, some of this company, let me be very honest to you, are being partnered by Nigerians. I know the stubbornness of a Nigerian. Sometimes they don't do the right thing. How do you expect somebody to engage workers and not give them conducive environment? It's already against the constitution of this country. Because if you are worked, will be paid. How will I be a slave in my country? President Olamide Tinubu will not allow that to thrive in his administration as a president. Because if we discover any of that loophole, we'll call the attention on Nigeria. And that will be practically done.
Yeah, because I've seen this happen in the past. Like we had an experience where we saw some workers who work for an Indian company had gone out to protest that they were paid little, and they were not even as much as given good remuneration for the work they do, and nothing really was done. Well,
I think that was not the time of President Olamide Tinubu. I said it before. I said the administration of a Democrat is different from that one of the military. So far, I think President Olamide Tinubu is the third Nigerian civilian president since the section of democracy in 1999. Am I correct?
Of course.
After Musa Yar'Adua late, so rest in peace, Goodluck Jonathan and Olamide Tinubu. So there are only three who have no security skill of the rotative order. They have principle and ideas of negotiation. It is where I and you negotiate. You agree to my terms. You come to invest in my country. And I'm sure that under Olamide Tinubu, that will not happen. I'm very convinced about that.
All right, but then some Nigerians are just saying that all of these investment promises, they are still on promissory notes. They are promises of we're going to come invest. It's not like they've come. People want to see the work and not just the talk. What do you make of that?
Yeah, you make a very vital point, because Nigeria does not start today. But every administration has its policy and program. First ever, I've seen presidents of Nigeria. I'm above 30, so I should be able to have a serious one or two things. First ever, I've seen the president of Nigeria moving out of Nigeria within his 100 days in office, negotiating with international communities to come to his country to invest, meaning you have good environment for them to thrive. President Olamide Tinubu will be different. He will be different. He will be, if he's going astray, we can also guide him. And that is why we are civil society. We can also guide him that this area you are going is not good for us. Nigeria needs good environment. Nigeria need. See, let me be very honest to you. The paper you are holding in hand is not produced by any foreign company. But there are even no discipline in those firms. So if there is discipline, there will be enforcement. But when there is no discipline, there will not be enforcement. So let's see how we can accord discipline to enforce decision.
So in what you're saying, because we have a story here which was earlier mentioned, palliatives, Borno, Sokoto give out 140 vehicles and others. I know you made a remark on it because Olamide had asked you some questions about it. So talking about discipline, do you think the governors, although these governors here have taken a step to do the needful and the right thing, so do you think there should be a way to, of course, discipline the other governors who have not taken the same step?
I said something before. Sorry, let me clear this. I just gave assumption of a calculation. Yes. I wasn't calculating differently.
Yeah.
So about 3 billion.
300 trillion. 300 trillion naira. Yeah.
So what we are trying to say in essence is Nigeria is not up to 300 million. I just have that assumption. Let me clear to your, your headline. When Olamide Tinubu was a governor of Lagos State, the then federal government, I think, seized Lagos allocation for some years. For some years, I think 2 or 3 years, but Lagos still exists. You know why? Because it has the discipline in him. If I and you accept to pay tax of 1 naira from our salary, Nigeria can be survived without revenue of oil. 1 naira. How many million Nigeria do we have? But how far can we be said to ourselves that a governor will be disciplined to discipline a commissioner? If you go to State Executive Council, it's all about project, you're negotiating, you're discussing. No commissioners tells you what you can do in your own state that will bring in resources. My dear, let us tell us the truth. If the president has no right to discipline any governor by the law. You understand me? But if you want to be authoritative, maybe a civilian military administrator, you can freeze allocation or suspend allocation to those states. But being a Democrat as Tinubu, I believe he should advance governors who have not done the right thing to keep in. Because those governors I mentioned, I also said governors who receive the same money as other assistant governors.
Well, so we have the enforcement agencies that should be, of course, at checkmating distance.
Yes, yes, you are very correct. The enforcement agency, like the EFCC, the ICPC, I want to be very honest to you. Do you really have even security in Nigeria? Do you really have security? Even the head of the security, are they safe? Because when your hands is clean, you'll be bold enough to say, oh, I must have to point fingers on this person. Let me be very honest to you. If today you are asked to query all the security agencies in Nigeria who are afraid to go after governors, because you cannot go after governor because he's elected, but you can go after commissioner who serve under governor. You can go after a minister who serve under president. Am I lying? We have never seen any day where a minister or a commissioner in government is being arrested and prosecuted for corruption. Until that is done, Nigeria will never get it right. Perhaps because they have immunity. I know Olamide have something to say. Okay. Commissioners and ministers have no immunity. Yes, they don't have. But the governor and the president has immunity. And because they are appointee of the president and appointee of the governor. So telling him to discipline, president has no right to discipline the governor because they have the same executive power. Okay, so that means maybe Nigerians need to now brace up and make good choices and better choices when it comes to choosing their own leader. Or perhaps the constitution should be reformed. Well, yes, I'm an advocate of constitutional review. A constitutional review, you see, in the constitution or the amendment process they are agitating by the National Assembly is for any election to take place or for any election that is conducted, all cases must be done with before you are sworn in. Meaning, once you are sworn in, no more case. And on that, Nigerians should be more hopeful that this is their choice of a winner. Okay. So I'm of the opinion to tell you today that to discipline minister and commissioner is very simple. A president who will come and query, during Obasanjo, let me tell us the truth too. No matter how any man they paint Obasanjo, he remain, that I told you before now, military, civilian. Obasanjo will be eating with you. Before you know, he will step out and come back with a resignation letter. You must resign, no? Because he has discovered something in you that is wrong or is faulty. Even when he himself, if he has something hidden, if you know it, bring it up. Nobody has come to do that. I believe that if I'm a minister today, I should be checkmated by the civil society, I should be checkmated by the president, I should be checkmated by everybody, including the media. Because even you, the media people, have a lot to do. The medians are the arrowhead who will end corruption in Nigeria. Without media, sorry. All right, talking about ending corruption, there's this headline on the Punch that says Tinubu special investigator faults CBN audited reports. And rather says central bank allegedly pays over 400 million naira to FIRS Academy for accounting guidelines. 400 million naira. And DSS to summon FRC boss, top directors as CBN special investigator deepens probe. You know, initially when there were conversations around the president actually hiring a private investigator to check the CBN's reports, you know,
people were braced up, like, let's see what's going to come out of it. And shortly before that time, we saw that CBN published their reports, which they had not published in 7 years, their financial reports, which had not been published in 7 years. And now that they are being audited, we see some other agencies now being incriminated. What do you make of this?
That is why I said it before, that where there is no discipline, corruption will never be wiped away. During the administration of our father, former President Muhammad Buhari, a lot of things goes wrong. And let me be very honest to you, because he was so soft to them. If as a military general, he was harsh as Buhari of 1985, a lot of ministers under his Buhari administration would have been in jail now. How do you expect somebody, like the allegation I saw the SCT minister mentioning, raising the voucher of a budget for something, turn around to increase it times 200? Is it proper? There should be, in my own opinion, there should be private spy everywhere by the media and other independent individuals. It will give Nigeria a better name. But where there are no private spy, because let me tell you, if NIA is working, madam, sister, Nigeria will never be experiencing security. Because before anything, security, there will be intelligence report. Nigeria will never experience any corruption. Because before any corruption, there will be intelligent report. I want to tell you confidently, NIA is the most sensitive agency, I will say, in Nigeria, from the issue of insecurity and corruption. I want to be very clear to tell you, NIA, DSS are even more proactive, coming up to arrest. But I also see 14 DSS. In other advanced country, you don't just arrest without proof. You investigate before you arrest. You arrest somebody and release him. Like I accepted from here. They say I'm arrested. For what? You should investigate me first before you arrest me. So when you arrest me, you have reason to arrest me and I have no reason to escape it. Am I lying? That is why I said, without discipline, corruption will not die in Nigeria. All federal agencies. Remember the report ICPC gave some days ago. Even in the ICPC, had they not corrupt directors? They say about almost how many agencies are corrupt, including the one they name. You understand? We all need to make sure that. It's very funny. So this allegation is not what? 40. Because still allegation, it has not been proved by the law.
Yeah.
If we want to go to court against them.
All right, still talking, since we're talking business here, before we go down to politics, federal government to increase education funding by 25%, and that's on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune, as it targets 4 years to end out-of-school children syndrome. Do you find this, of course, realistic? 4 years to end out-of-school children syndrome by the 25% increase on funding on education? Yeah.
Let me be very honest to you. I attend a public school, but none of my relatives now have the privilege to attend public school. And it's not because of lack of funding.
Is it a privilege?
Yes, it's a privilege. That is not because of, it's not lack of funding. It's the corruption I'm referring us to. How will you give somebody a position in education center where he has no idea? Is that not corruption? Let me tell us the truth. 25% is not the remedy to end alamajiri or out-of-school children. No! 25% is not the solution. Yes, you can budget the money, but will the money go to classroom? You can budget the money. Will the money be the structure? When Jonathan came with the alamajiri, a ruling alamajiri to nomadic education, alamajiri into normal conventional school, what's happened? He has a very good policy, but before he steps up office, the policy was stampede. Am I lying?
Not all.
Policy of government is a continual process. For Tinubu to succeed, he needs to be very harsh and tough. I am of the opinion that every people around him are the one who will kill his dream of funding education.
Okay, so what would you suggest in this case? Because you're saying 25% increase is not the solution, especially to taking out of school children away from the streets. So what would you suggest?
For me, my suggestion is the government should have retrieved back certificates, NSEN certificate to private schools, and revise back children to public school, including theirs.
How realistic is that? Because of course you notice the structure of the public school when it comes to even the education, the dish out, it's nothing to write home about.
That is what I said.
So would you want to send your child to the public school when you know they are not going to get quality education?
The corruption of the education started where they started issuing out private licenses. When you were in school, how many private institutions do you have around your area? Tell me.
I attended a private school.
How many are there?
But let's talk about but I would beg to defy this case because I would say that there are still lots of government schools that are still doing pretty well with their curriculum. I served in one in Delta State, and I can say that they had very good standards. In fact, literally all of the government schools in Delta State have very good standards. So I don't know about other states. I can also testify of Lagos State. So we can't just overlook it and just think that there are no good schools when it comes to government schools. And if you're thinking of taking back their licenses, these are also people trying to make ends meet as well. So not everybody wants to have their kids go to government schools, and some would prefer to have their kids go to private schools. So I don't think that, in my opinion, maybe revoking the license may not just be the solution, because revoking the license would mean that you would now throw those Nigerians into abject poverty as well, and that creates more room for crimes.
Well, you say opinion, but I also want to analyze more. I want to discuss this education. Very interesting.
Please, let's
please, my sister Vicky, you know you attended private school, but I was privileged to attend public school.
And I said it's a privilege.
And I also want to advise us.
Okay.
Without the discipline that I have been acting on, if there is discipline, what happened in private will be happening in public schools. But how many of us, like Vicky said, who are set in this modern era to attend public school and have a good education? What the former governor of Kaduna did was one of the best minds. I can boast to tell you, if I remain one of the best minds in educational reform in Nigeria. How many of our children, brothers or sisters attend NCE, College of Education, and came out to write a lesson note on their own and deliver it before the children in the class? How many? Because of the system is poor. I will also agree that the school you serve in Delta is in urban city, not in the rural area. So the major danger of educational system in Nigeria is in the rural area. Am I lying?
You did not specifically ask me if it was true.
No, but I'm just telling you, because you yourself, you can convince, you cannot deny that. How I'm telling you, no, wait, if you go to, like Abuja, you know area like Dusi, Alaji, Kubwa, Gwarimpa, all these areas. But if you go to a place they call Begi,
or someone will say,
you now discover that what I said about education is true. Is it not the same education fund they are giving them? Is it not the same education funding? But every private school around that place is what doing well, and people are rushing over there. Even the attack of the bandit is more on public school than the private school. That is because there is collaborators among them. So for me, if I'm the Minister of Education, if I don't revoke your license, I must icon discipline.
I would go with the discipline.
I must icon discipline. And that discipline is your child, any child admitted in your school, any child admitted in your school from a parent of 4, 2 must be in public school.
Nothing, yeah?
No, it is discipline. Okay. You know why I say so? So the public school will not die.
Okay, I like that. I like
you understand
that,
me?
of course.
When the public school die, then what is the purpose of funding education to 25%?
All right. So
is this money going to private institution? No, it's going to be individual pocket. It is corruption again.
All right, I don't want us to leave without going into this political story. What's currently, I'm sure you've heard some stories about the Edo State. There are some things happening between the deputy governor and the governor himself, and it's becoming, it's more in the public now than they can actually hide, because now they said, according to the papers this morning, the deputy governor has moved out of his official residence. What do you make of this? Because they're still trying to cover it up and make it look like, especially, what do you think of this in relation to the forthcoming elections?
You call it Edo State governor and deputy governor. Face up. Edo State governor and deputy governor face up is politics. And it's normal.
Oh.
In politics, once that happens, it's normal. Nothing is more sweeter than power. But nothing is also more dangerous than power. Edo governor and deputy is all about loyalty, pay, and revenge in return. Because Obaseke was in their need of Shaibu to get his second term. Shaibu betrayed Oshomole and ensure Obaseki got his second term. Shaibu is interested because he wants to be governor. The mistake Shaibu did, that I will fight him as a layman or as a young activist. It is not due time. The negotiation he used, this miss he used for him to meet with the governor through bishop and this one, Oba evolve. He would have still used that miss by not be rushing to court. So that trust is no more there again.
So you think rushing to court would have been the issue, the reason why all this is unfolding? Because perhaps he had gotten an information that something like this would have happened, because it's still the same thing. You sending your deputy out of his office.
Have you confirmed that you send him out or you packed out for the office?
Well, maybe it's not the environment is no longer conducive for
I want to know, because environment is not conducive. Is it that as I'm talking to you, and somebody else came in and started insulting me because of my conversation with you, will it trigger me to leave? No, I must have to finish what I am here for.
Well, maybe it just changed location. Doesn't mean he's out of office.
Good, because if he has stepped out of office, it means he has to submit a letter of resignation to the State Assembly.
Obviously.
Am I lying?
Yes.
So me, I'm concerned that he has made a mistake that he have realized later, because Shaibu is a smart guy. And as smart as he is, he has faulted himself by rushing to court. Now he's the same person who went again and withdraw the injection.
So do you think he has just shot himself in the leg when it comes to a shot at
as much as 20 the election is next year, 2024 is concerned.
Yes.
There is no way Shaibu will resolve with the Shomole.
So you do not see
it's already hung on top.
You do not see any cross carpeting, of course, to the APC.
Even if he cross carpeting to APC, I said it to you. There is no way he can cross carpeting.
But it's politics. It's game of interest.
Wait now, let me tell you.
Okay.
You know, in this nature, I want to tell you, I'm not close to Oshomole, but I want to tell you the character of who you call Oshomole.
Aha. Because I think, sorry to cut you, I think I saw something around that before now, when there were speculations that Shaibu was going to move into APC. I think Oshomole made a statement in relation to maybe APC is not supposed to be a dumping ground or something of that nature. So
I have reasons why. Oshomole is an activist.
Okay.
Oshomole is not a normal politician. And as an activist, you don't forgive.
Okay, so that means you don't forgive.
You always forget. Do you know what I say? So you always forget at the moment, you don't forgive.
Oh.
Whatever happened, you forget it at the moment.
So activists don't forgive. They only
you know what I say? So
moment.
For him to fight Oshomole, for Oshomole to lose a ticket, that lose a victory. Now time for him. If he is with Oshomole, it would have been more favorable for him than now. Because let me tell you something, smart politicians will fight somebody and get a chance. Once they get a chance, they return back to the Oga. But now he's a hit for 2024. He's now negotiating. Even if he moves to any party now, it's still relevant. As much as I'm concerned. No magic that will make him to win governor. So the only thing is to play loyalty and complete his tenure.
So beyond this, because he's not loyal to the governor at the moment, I feel like because they are divided, they may have issues. But anyway, let's go to another political story that I don't want us to leave behind. They said Wike should be taken out of PDP. Yes, expelling Wike from PDP, a task that must be done. That's coming from Atiku's camp on the Vanguard newspaper. What do you make of this? Do you think it is as important for them to take Wike out of PDP, and do you think Wike is still very much in PDP as much as he's a minister under the APC government?
And to add to our question, I've also seen Wike asking that Atiku should also be expelled. Do you think it's just a train of banters here and there?
I'm just laughing because all the story headline on the papers is just politics. They are just instigating conversation. As much as I'm concerned, they are just instigating conversation. Nothing is wrong with any decision. Either Wike expel or Atiku expel. Nothing is wrong with this because it's politics. Politics, everything goes. But I also want to clear you that as much as President Olamide Tinubu has not cooperated to say I'm raising a national unity government, so there's a question mark of Wike being President Tinubu administration as a member of another party. So because during 2017 election, even when I was the presiding officer, and the president came up to say, yes, my election is 40, but I'll conduct the best election for Nigeria. I'm calling for unity government. Yeah, party brought in people. Am I lying? I you know, during Yaradua, he formed a government of national unity. It was announced. Other party brought in people. Minister, special advisor. I can call 1 or 2 persons who are beneficiary of the unity government. You understand me? Because he brought people from AMPP, people from DMPP. That time, I know people who were very tough. But they were caged in, I mean, they were caught in, not caged, they were caught into their system. Now, I had a rumor where I have not confirmed, and I need to confirm that. Because I also heard that Wike said that all the governors of the state from different parties have brought in somebody. Good, this is confirmation, because this is what I'm not confirming for you, because I said I have not confirmed. When Wike said his nomination was confirmed by the national chairman of the party. Yes. Question mark. So, who is faulting Wike to resign should also fault the national chairman to resign if confirmed true. If, I'm telling you, if the national chairman of the party have accepted Wike to be the government of national unity, automatically, it is not Wike's fault. It is the national party chairman fault. And all this thing, let me tell you, I'm not satisfied that we have a president who is moving to redefine the Nigerian economy and the Nigerian system. But behold, if Atiku and Wike have resolved issue of national chairman before now, which Wike says the national chairman is on seat now, the acting national chairman are giving the grace to serve in Tinubu government. So if he has been smart enough to have allowed Wike to produce national chairman, then before election, all this fracas will not be there. Okay, who's at fault? Ayo still live. You lost election. Instead of you to show Ayo way to win the election, or maybe to have a better case, to have a better rapport with people, because politics is all about togetherness. Where you are divided, the house can never stand. That's what happened to Atiku and Wike. But Wike remains now today a beneficiary because he's a minister under Tinubu government and one of the lucrative institutions, AFCT. Notwithstanding, for him to be a member of that cabinet, he should voluntarily join APC. Because he has met the national chairman of APC in a closed door. So automatically that means he is a member of APC and he cannot be a member of a dwarf party.
All right, let me just take this call to round up this segment. Hello, good morning. Please, we need you to turn down the volume of your TV set and you have just 60 seconds. Oh, we lost him. But must he be a member of the party to actually be a part of the party? Because, of course, the president said he wants to run a national unity kind of government. You have 60 seconds to talk about that.
I have not heard that. Unless you not tell me that the president says so. It's a government of APC. It's a government of APC, not a government of national unity. Unless you are telling me that the president says so. Are you aware?
You're not aware the president said he wants to run a government
I know there's still contention around it.
Who is from other party?
You already have Wike, that's the beginning.
No, so. This is a contention why you brought the story of Wike and Atiku. But I'm asking which from other party? We have about almost 18 political parties. They should name the people from other party. Let's see, that it's a government of national unity. Yes, Tinubu will have that intention, but people around him, would they allow it to happen?
But you know, as the national unity now is not supposed to be based on just party.
Capacity.
You can look at ethnicity. It entails a lot, not just. I feel like we're limited when we limit everything when we look at just political.
But when you talk about ethnicity, I want to also bring in opinion this, that we have South as Senate President, we have Southwest as President, we have Northwest as Speaker of the House, Northwest as Deputy Speaker, Deputy Senate President, we have Northeast as Vice President, we have North Central as SGF. So as much as Nigeria is concerned, everywhere, but all members of APC.
Aside from
am I lying?
All right.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure having you.
Thank you. God bless you.
Indeed.
Thank you.
All right, you've heard all we've brought to you this morning by, of course, our guest who has done justice to most of the headlines on the dailies this morning. And to all our callers who were able to call, I can see still some people calling. We're so sorry we are unable to pick your call today, but do well to join us same time, same station tomorrow. I am Victoria Agbi.
And I am Olamide Alhassan. See you again tomorrow. Bye.
Thank you.